you're adventurous with food, now this is a tough one. I can't really say this. You're a woman.
No, you
but
can
I will
absolutely say this. I know exactly what you're going to say already. Tell
you tell me.
Tell the world.
Tell me.
It is said that people who are adventurous with food are also adventurous in bed.
Correcto. Hai so desu.
One of the craziest things I've eaten. Sorry, I don't know how to say this. You know the testicles of a chicken, of a male chicken.
Rooster balls?
Yes.
But what do they call that?
I don't know.
I never knew that was a dish. You're much more adventurous than me.
When I started eating that, I started crying. Like, I'm sorry. Like, what?
You are a foodie. You really should be doing the food tours.
I started crying.
This is just so beautiful, right?
And honestly, it was just so beautiful. Like, the taste of that dish, the way it made me feel home. It was like a warm hug or something. I don't know what happened there. But my 2 Japanese friends were like, okay, emotional. Like, what's going on?
Yeah. Can you get that same kind of overwhelming with emotion from music or from art?
All the time. Crying. I mean, goosebumps. I mean, I have that with conversations. I'm a very, very emotionally tapped in person. I can that's me.
Tied to people's everything, all the way to their politics, People that will not try anything new.
You think so? You think the way people eat is directly connected to their politics? I've never heard that before.
Okay, you find me somebody that loves the food of the world and they don't love the people, and there's a disconnect. I mean, if they really have a diversified palate, you can go into a Mexican restaurant if you're a redneck and you like your Mexican food. But I mean, if you are the kind of person who loves all of the, these cuisines across the board, I think that's got to open your heart up to the people behind that. And I learned that money can't buy happiness.
Tell me about that. Tell me.
It's just that, I mean, I think the people who say it best understand that you can only eat 3 meals a day. You can only wear 1 pair of shoes at a time. And so I learned really to appreciate what I do have.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Kotodama Podcast. Today, my guest is Bruce Haendel. He's a storyteller, he's a connector, he's an entrepreneur. He's the co-founder of Open Mind, where he helps small and medium enterprises to elevate their branding and their communications and their international reach. He's also the driving force behind Hakata Foodie experiences, and he is a foodie, so we'll talk about that. Welcome to the show, Bruce. Yay!
Thank you very much, Shannon.
Thank you so much for coming up. I really appreciate it. For everyone listening, me and Bruce, we met in Fukuoka, and people who watch me, they already know I used to live in Fukuoka, and this is crazy. You live in Fukuoka since 1985. That's crazy. Like, I have not been born then.
I know. A lot of my friends weren't even born then. In Fukuoka back then, I couldn't even pronounce the name when I came over here. I thought I was moving to Fukuoka. I was supposed to stay here for 3 months.
Really? Okay, so this is actually my first question. My first question is, where are you originally from? How did you end up in Fukuoka in 1985? I mean, what? This is like, is this I almost said prehistoric. I'm so sorry. No, I don't mean to offend you.
No, I'm very keenly aware of the dinosaur factor here. Okay, so what happened was, it was before the internet. There weren't even fax machines. I mean, that's how crazy it was. It was a long time ago. And when I moved here, like, we got this wild new invention, the fax machine. And then it wasn't long after that, like 6 or 7 years after, started using email. So 1992, I'm a Mac user from way back, we learn about these things and we get them. But Fukuoka, I was very lucky to have learned about it because I was a tour guide in America.
Okay. So which city, like, where are you from originally from the States?
Okay. Well, I was born in the East Coast in New York, and it's a small town. You've probably heard of it. And then my family, anyway, we moved around. And when I was old enough, I got in the car and I moved to Seattle. And Seattle is, of course, the other side of the country. It took me like a week to drive out there. And while I was there, I was working for the North Face. And a lot of my customers were rich Tokyo kids who would come into the store with $100 bills and just buy up stuff. And And I would say, like, they'd come into the store and I'd go, "Hey, how you doing?" And I didn't realize that in Japan, when a storekeeper talks to you, you don't say anything back, right? Irashaimase. You're not even supposed to say anything. So I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And they'd like just ignore me. I'm like, "God dang!" And then they would put stuff on the counter and just wheel out these bills. And I'm like, "There's something bizarre about these people. I don't understand it." And when there was an opportunity for me to move here um, and do a homestay, I came over with a one-way ticket to Hong Kong, with a stopover in Tokyo, and $400. And I stayed longer than 3 months, and got a job. And anyway, so I mean, there's a long history here. But the thing is, I got here, and it wasn't too long afterwards that I got to see Itoshima Peninsula and the beautiful sea and mountains. And this place is good. I have to stay longer. So anyway, 40 years later, I'm still here and I'm still exploring. And yeah, it's not a hardship post.
I can imagine, and also I can hardly imagine, because I always say to people, Japan is like stuck in the 80s, but I don't actually know what that means, because I was born in 1994. So what the hell? But yeah, I'm a baby, and I'm just, for you, I'm a baby. For Gen Z, I'm a grandma. But I'm just like, the thing is, how was Japan back in the day? Tell me, I mean, how was that to be a foreigner in 1985? What?
Well, okay. It was weird, let me tell you. But one thing I want to say before I forget is, if you want to know what Japan was like in the 80s and Showa period and all that stuff, there's this fantastic thing on Netflix called Midnight Diner. If you watch that show, Midnight Diner, that was what Japan was like when I moved here. People were so cute. And here's another one. This is really, really dated. There's this movie by the brilliant director Itami Juzo called Tampopo. And that's what Japan was like. Just crazy fanatic ramen eaters and reverence. Anyway, it was really interesting. When I first came here and I had a job as a teacher right away, because that was what you did, the students would stand up when I entered the room, and they would bow. That's how long ago it was, because they don't, now anyway, it's different now. But it was very cute back then. There was a lot of respect.
But about the bowing and about being a teacher, I mean, I used to be a teacher in Fukuoka in a kindergarten, and the 2-year-olds, they're still standing up when I walk in the room, okay? Like, it's still happening, Bruce. It's still a thing. And it's actually still going on in schools in Japan, or kindergartens as well. But yeah, it's...
Well, university is really different. I mean, I was teaching at a national university, and when I first started there was a lot of respect for the teacher, and people would listen. And then at the end of it, I would have to wait. You know, people would butt in line to get on the elevator before me, and so they were showing no respect at all for the teachers. And that's when I left teaching in 2008. This is crazy stuff. Yeah. And the salaries were coming down.
Okay, sorry. Oh my God. I'm like interrupting. I'm such a bad host. I just want to know, like, so when you're there, right, and you're like, okay, I'm going to stay here for 3 months, and now you're there for 40 years or something. What was the moment? I want to know. What was the moment that you knew Fukuoka is the place I want to be?
Okay. So it was the bubble, right? As soon as I got here, the yen started getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And I was starting to earn money in yen. So I was just telling somebody this today at the meetup, by the way, because the same one that we met at. I got here and I was so excited, earning $25 an hour equivalent, right? And it was crazy, because that same 10,000 yen became worth over $100 an hour. And I was earning just obscene amounts of money. So I traveled a lot, and I went back to the States. I thought, I'm American. I shouldn't be here. And I forget how many years it was. But after 2 or 3 months back in the States, I'm like, I'm bored out of my mind. I want to come back. And the guys at immigration, I'd been going there every year to renew my visa. They're like, Bruce, we're tired of seeing you. Just apply for permanent residence. So I got that permanent residence a long time ago, because they're like, you're paying taxes, you're a good boy. So I got that permanent residence, which meant I could open a donut shop or I could sell cars. I could do anything I wanted, Don't even have to work if you have permanent residence. So, but it was really after probably 5-7 years that I knew this is much more, I can be much more free here, And there's several things that I really love in my life.
Sorry,
What?
you are the
you
first
shocked about
person,
that? I'm totally
Bruce,
free.
we are connected here spiritually, because you're the first person ever out of any foreigner I've met. And I always say this, for me, Japan represents my freedom. I feel so free here. But most foreigners don't feel free here. Tell me why you feel free in this country.
Well, because 1992, I started my first company so that I was my own boss. Okay, so the first 7 years, I was a slave to the Berlitz School of Languages, and somebody else was my boss, and they're setting my schedule and telling me when I got to work and when I don't have to, and that's no fun. So in 1992, I had gone traveling, and they refused to hire me back. It was one of these deals that, sure, you can go on holiday, but anyway, so I came back, and I had to establish my own communication services business. And I would decide, who I want to teach, who I want to consult with. Anyway, I just have economic freedom. I'm not making huge amounts of money because that's not the goal. Once I got here, I wanted to enjoy my time in Japan. Like, I came here to see Japan. I don't want to just work in an office while I'm here. So I've got what I call a work-life balance that is kind of it's decadent. I set a target on how much money I want to earn, for example. And if I exceed that, that's great. But I don't want to work more than like 10 hours a week.
You're living the dream. I mean, even if...
Well, especially now, because you know how I'm
eating.
earning my money during those 10 hours? I feed people. I'm eating. And obviously I'm eating because, I got here, I was a thin, tall dude. And I'm shorter now than I but seriously, I'm eating too late at night and picking up the weight. The metabolism, unfortunately, doesn't work like it used to. But I literally get paid to meet people, take a walk with them, bring them to my favorite yatais, the street food stalls, right? Order for them, serve them a little bit, feed them, and chat. And I'm with them for 2.5 hours. And then sayonara. And it's
amazing.
It's a good job. The thing is, I'm extremely, extremely grateful for it because I could only live this way in Hakata, in Fukuoka, because we're the only city that has yatais to the extent that we do. We have over 104 yatais. So people come here and they're like, oh my God, where should I go?
Yeah.
How do I communicate? What should I eat? So I'm so lucky because if I'd lived in any other city,
and
they don't have that.
Yes, and about for everyone who doesn't know what a yatai is, it's basically like a food stand, but like an old Japanese traditional one, right? Like you basically eat outside in a little. Yeah, tell.
Well, they roll out. Yeah, you're outside, and they come in at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. and they unfold them like kind of like a transformer kind of thing, and they put 10 chairs around them, and the cook is in the middle. And everybody sits around and you all talk to each other, which I really love. And the food can be anything from, ramen and yakitori and fried noodles and stuff like that to really gourmet stuff. But these people are artists, and the atmosphere, each one is a separate universe. When I take people out, there's a Showa era run by old men or old women. There's young guys, hip hop yatais, and it's just really, really wild. And so, I mean, when anyone comes to Fukuoka, they got to experience this because that's the unique thing about coming to Fukuoka. And by the way, we have two names, Fukuoka and Hakata. So that also confuses
I think Hakata
people.
is the historical name of the city, and then they named it Fukuoka. But honestly, I prefer Hakata as well. I think Hakata is a beautiful name. I don't know. I just like it more.
Tell you one thing good about Hakata is well, actually, I'm saying that in the reverse. I used to write my address as Fukuoka on AOL when the internet first started out, and we used AOL. And the bots would erase my address because they thought it was an obscene word. Fukuoka. Fukuoka. Get the hell out of there. So if it was Hakata, there'd be no problem.
You just said it was before the fax machine was invented. I think that's so. Can I just quickly go on a little?
Well, I don't know if it wasn't invented, but we had personal faxes come out like right after I got here. And so it was very exciting.
Can I ask you there, or can I go on a little tangent? Because like, I have this weird romantic obsession with like, with the 80s, 70s, 60s. And obviously I've never lived in that, not in this life, but like the music, the vibe, no social media. I mean, I kind of love this, right? I love the podcast here. What I'm doing is I'm blessed. I love it. I'm so grateful for every view and every comment. I love it. But at the same time, I mean, life is so complicated now. Do you sometimes feel like back in the day, life was just easier? Was it just, do you feel like people connect more now, or do you feel like they connect less? I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
I think people clearly connect more superficially now, and our attention spans, including mine, are lower. I mean, when you think about the success of something like Twitter or X, whatever, it really was because people want to read a line or two. Or Instagram, they just want to see something and go on. And all these dating apps and things where you just swipe. So clearly people are connecting on a more superficial level. This is the whole reason we have the meetup. It is the only thing that I'm tethered to where we actually are face to face with humans. But it's only 2 hours. And that's when I'm actually paying attention to the people that I'm sitting with and not, looking at the phone. Right?
I feel like life has just gotten so complicated now, and I feel like it's very hard, even for my generation, and I think for the younger generations too. I think it's hard to connect deeply with people, and it's like something that you have to put effort in. And that's one of the reasons I love podcasts, because it's like, this is one of the only times that long form content still kind of exists out there, and people are having deep conversations, and it's just a rare thing. I adore podcasting because of that, listening and obviously creating. But yeah, tell me about Hakata Foodie, right? Okay, so you have this, you go with these people, with these tourists. There was no segue. That was just like straight into a different question. But, you have these tourists coming to Fukuoka, yeah, right? And like, you go eat with them in these yatais or in restaurants. And like, what do you think is the best like dish, or something that people might not know? Like when I talk to foreigners, they always say ramen and sushi. But like, I'm like,
no, there's far more to that. So
exactly. Tell me.
I mean, the thing is, people are coming, and my tours are noted for friendly, delicious, and clean yatais, right? So they're going to have a good experience like that. But it's really about the communication, as well as the eating. And I kind of make sure that when we go to the yatais that we talk to the guests, the regular guests, the out-of-town guests and everything, and we all become friends. Because that's, the personal part about it is, for me, remember I told you I got here 40 years ago. I learned how to speak Japanese by going to yatais after my English classes were done. And you can't do that today, because if you go to the yatais, some yatais, up to 80% of the guests they're not from Japan. But you can have a socially interesting time. As far as the food goes, though, there are some interesting treats here, like mochi bacon. So unfortunately, remember I told, I work with Serkan of Buy Food, right?
Yes.
And he's not kosher. What do we call it if it's in Islam? He's
halal.
Halal. Right? So he can't have my favorite dish. He can't even have ramen, poor guy. But mochi bacon is a big hit with my guests. And a lot of the other dishes like oden, comfort food that Westerners haven't ever heard of, especially eating daikon that has been soaking in a dashi broth for.
Oh my God, one of my favorite things is daikon in that broth. Oh my God, it's so delicious. I don't even know how to explain that. Tell me. Yeah, sorry.
Well, just that it's been deeply, it permeates it, and the daikon starts out as hard as a rock kind of vegetable, and it turns into this soft, just wonderfully aromatic, incredible, just comfort food, and it's very good for you, full of vitamins and minerals. But anyway, what I try to do is feed my guests things that are kind of challenging for them, like how like in many countries chicken is very, very soft. Yes. But the chicken that we get at a yakitori or here at the yatai, It's free range chicken, and it's like chewy, like taco, like octopus. And
Yes.
that's kind of a mind blower for a lot of my guests. Because again, most of them are from North America or Australia. And so they're not used
Yeah.
to eating inner too. And so I like to serve them hormone after I feed it to them, and then I tell them what it is.
My goodness. Yeah, tell people what is hormone.
So hormone, technically, from the old Japanese vernacular, was the stuff that you throw away from the cow, right? The guts. And what they've done is they've really cleaned it very thoroughly, and they saute it with some excellent sauce. And this is something you learn from visiting places like China. You can serve anything as long as it's in a good sauce. That's how they get away with it. And it's the same with these dishes here. It's all about the sauce. Same with squid. I mean, it's a blank slate, but you dip it in some soy sauce with a little wasabi. But there's no real
Wasabi.
very minor squid flavor.
I love, and I feel like my taste changes over time as well, because I used to eat meat and now I don't. But when I used to eat meat, because now I'm a pescatarian, I eat fish still. But so when I used to live in Fukuoka, something I really loved was raw chicken meat. And people are like, what does that mean? How do you eat raw chicken? Like,
You
isn't
were
that...
getting raw chicken in Fukuoka.
Yeah, I was. Wait, why?
I had not had it here, but I've had it in Kagoshima. I didn't know they had it here.
Yeah, there's a place in, there was, I don't know, this is many years ago. I mean, there was a place where I ate it for the first time, and I couldn't believe it was delicious. And I think that those places that serve raw chicken, they have to be certified or tested or something, because it's obviously
Absolutely. If anyone were to get sick, that would be the end.
Exactly.
I'm surprised that you liked raw chicken. I've had it just because it's there. I had to take the challenge.
No, I loved it. And my favorite meat, like my favorite food when I used to eat meat was what's it called again? Raw horse meat.
Basashi.
Basashi, yeah. Horse sushi. That's my
horse
favorite.
Sushi. Oh my God. So I'm going to Kumamoto tomorrow, which is where they serve lots of that. And they're very proud of it. So of course, if I go out to dinner, somebody's going to offer me either raw horse or a horse sukiyaki kind of thing.
Delicious. People don't believe me, but it's just
that
amazing.
Actually is delicious. It's the thing is we grew up riding horses, so it's kind of sad, but
yeah, of course. And again, I don't eat meat anymore. I don't judge it. It's just not for me anymore. But I did try everything.
Yeah, you sure did. I'm impressed.
Yeah, and like I want to ask you, like maybe more of an emotional question. I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but you're such a foodie, and like, what do you think it is about food that makes you so happy? Like, how do you feel when you eat something delicious?
Okay, well, I think certainly I'm not the only one. Obviously, this whole country is foodies. That's the thing about Japan. I want to kind of make a tangential answer to this because are you familiar with Trader Joe's?
Yes.
Trader Joe's founder came up with some concept that food and travel equals adventure. And that's what it is to me. Like when I was a kid, my dad was a very adventurous guy. And we're talking, I'm going to date myself here. 55 years ago, he would take me to authentic Chinese restaurants in Boston, and we would have snails that were cooked in a brown sauce, and you'd take a hat pin and you pull it out and eat it. Or he would serve me Turkish coffee, which, whoa, that was exotic for an American. Or baba ganoush, where the eggplant is burnt, and hummus. And what else? I had so many first experiences of cuisines with my dad. He loved the variety of things. So I learned at an early age that food equals travel equals adventure. And I could not wait to leave my home country and experience the world because of all this incredible food. Greece, I'm going to go to Greece, have souvlaki, and, go everywhere. But yeah, to me, food equals travel equals adventure. And it also equals connection because, like with my eating thing, I mean, we all form a bond by having experienced these incredible dishes together, and everyone is going wild. And I have a wedding party coming up on Friday, and
Oh,
it's an interesting wedding. It's women from Australia, and the wedding couple themselves is two women, which is also something that wasn't going to happen 40 years ago.
wow.
But so these women are getting married, and they're coming to my yacht with their guests, and they're taking them out. And what did I want to say about that? Something? Oh, just I don't know. Anyways, it's a wild time. Um,
Yes. It is,
mm.
and what I wanted to say there as well. Now I also forgot, but whatever. I mean, like it's so cool. Oh, I remember, like your father. So basically, was kind of like your doorway into the food, I guess, world.
My dad
And
was
I'm
such a
just,
visionary. Yeah.
and it's crazy. And you know why that's crazy? Because I used to be a cabin crew for Emirates. I traveled the world. Okay, I've been to the U.S. Most Americans are not very open-minded when it comes to food. Okay, they just enjoy fast food and that's it. Like they're so close-minded. I'm sorry for every American
No,
listening.
no, no.
It's
I
just
have friends that are like that too. That are like, they want hamburgers, they want pasta, pizza.
hell, and it's so sad. Like even when okay, this thing. Like even when people come to Japan and they're like ramen, ramen, and I'm like, yeah, like I eat ramen maybe, Bruce, maybe once a year. Like it's not really the dish for me. Like I would much rather prefer soba or udon or like one of my favorites is okonomiyaki. I've never met someone who doesn't like okonomiyaki, right?
I had
But
it
it's
yesterday. We
something.
love it. Mm.
Yes, and like no foreigner knows that, right? But yeah, I've met a lot of Americans. I think because of their. So I heard, is this true? Do you know this? But I heard that if you're a child, because I was obviously raised in a Turkish household, my mother used to cook a lot of Turkish dishes. So everything, right? Like all kinds of meat, all kinds of vegetables, like everything. I loved broccoli.
It's
I
one of the
never had
great
issues with.
cuisines of the world. Sure.
Yeah, I love it. And like, is it true? Like I read that if children grow up with a bigger palette of food, they kind of develop the sense for tastes better than children who only eat a specific type of food. Is that
It
true?
is so true. It's really funny though, because okay, my grandmother was a foodie. She loved food. She would write me letters about, you know, uh, uh, jumbo shrimp prawn salads that she had in Florida. But my mother was a career woman, and her idea was to throw something in the oven with salt and pepper. And she was a horrible cook. I mean, really, there was no flavoring going on and with anything. So when I was 6 years old, my neighbors invited me to a Chinese restaurant. It was the first time, and I had like sweet and sour pork, barbecued pork, egg rolls, and it just blew my mind. And the reason I bring this up is, guess who I end up marrying is a Chinese woman, because food can actually have taste. It can have flavor. It's not just salt and pepper in an oven or boiled vegetables. So even though I didn't grow up in a house where my mom provided the international thing, I made sure that I got out to restaurants from that point on. I remember being 18 years old, taking my girlfriend to an Afghan restaurant in DC, back
Wow.
and when I had like my high school prom, we
Yeah.
went to a Japanese teppanyaki place, and I was really into it because, again, it was food equals travel equals adventure.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't know why I rebelled against this, white bread, and meat and potatoes, kind of boring stuff. Because I felt that was all, all of that stuff, it's tied to people's everything, all the way to their politics, people that will not try anything new.
You think so? You think the way people eat is directly connected to their politics? I've never heard that before.
Okay, you find me somebody that loves the food of the world and they don't love the people, and there's a disconnect. If they really have a diversified palate,
Very
you could go into a
true.
Mexican restaurant if you're a redneck and you like your Mexican food. But if you are the kind of person who loves all of the, these cuisines across the board, I think that's got to open your heart up to the people behind that.
Interesting. Yes. And honestly, that's a very interesting hypothesis. I do agree now that I've listened to your pitch. And
Well, thank you.
yes, because also food is culture, right? It says a lot about a culture. whatever, like what you just said, baba ganoush, or in Turkey we have sarma, or the way even Turkish coffee is, right? It's a specific way of making coffee. It's very
And don't,
dark.
yeah.
Yeah, it's specific. It's or baklava, right? As an example from my culture, right? It's so sweet. It's crazy. Like I can only eat this tiny piece and it's enough for forever. But it says a lot about a culture, right?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. There's a lot of love that goes into food, into cooking and creating. Like I think Anthony Bourdain was totally into that. He totally caught on to that. And everywhere he went, he would mix with the local people and eat the local food. And he wouldn't refuse anything. Yeah. And so he's kind of my hero. And I really wanted to feed him at a yatai. Darn it. If he came to Fukuoka, of course I would have fed him.
Of course. Yeah.
But anyway,
yeah. Tell me.
Just that food is a very important thing. If you're adventurous with food, now this is a tough one. I can't really say this. You're a woman.
No, you can absolutely say this. I know exactly what you're going to say already. Tell.
Or you tell me.
Tell the world.
Tell me.
It is said that people who are adventurous with food are also adventurous in bed.
Correcto. Hai so desu. Yeah, they're more adventurous. That's true. I mean, I have to agree. Yeah.
Yeah. But what do you think? What do you think says, for example, Japanese food about Japanese people?
Well, Japanese food about Japanese people, they're not adventurous. So you could have the most non-adventurous spirited person, but they eat Japanese food because that's what they're exposed to. But what I don't like is a Japanese person that has to bring all their own food when they travel abroad, which used to happen. They would carry their own rice. They would bring their own ramens and instant ochazuke packets and things like that. Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
But actually, it was much worse with Chinese people. Chinese people used to come by big tour buses to Fukuoka, and they would go, and the bus would empty out at a Chinese restaurant. They didn't want to try anything new.
I don't understand that. I don't. Of course, if you have dietary requirements.
Yeah, it should be a mandatory requirement. You must eat the local food. Yeah, I don't think it really occurs the way it used to. But it was such a tip, because there were restaurants 20, 30 years ago that made a living off of serving the tourists from that country of the cuisine. Because
it does still happen, but I don't know about Japan, but it happens in Turkey, for example. Like there's a city where we have a house. My family has a house, and that city there are so many English people. Okay, so all the British
pubs.
Yes, and they always sit in there and they always eat the fish and chips. Like it sounds like a stupid stereotype. It's the truth. That's literally what's happening there, and I don't understand it. I do understand it sometimes, right? But to never be open to other foods? I mean, if you have a dietary requirement, I get it. Okay, I get it, guys. Okay, and now I don't eat meat anymore. I get it. But before, when I still was open, I was open. I tried everything. One of the craziest things I've eaten, sorry, I don't know how to say this. I wonder if you probably ate that before. You know the testicles of a chicken? Of a male chicken?
Chicken's head? Rooster balls?
Yes.
But what do they call that?
Don't know.
I never knew that was a dish. You're much more adventurous than me.
I am. I ate everything. I'm telling you.
Yeah, you really did.
Yeah,
you sound like a fun girl. Yeah. Oh, right.
No, but that was disgusting. I mean, but I tell you why. I need to get into detail with the chicken balls. Sorry, I don't know what it's called. Is it?
Yeah, chicken balls. Okay. I don't know what that.
So this is back in the day. I was on a date with a millionaire. This is the story of my life.
Okay.
I met this guy. He was a millionaire, and he wanted to show off with adventurous food or something. And so he took me to this restaurant, and was this in Fukuoka no? This was in Tokyo. And he took me to this restaurant, like a bougie restaurant in Tokyo, and we tried different things, normal stuff. And then he was like, "Oh, have you ever had this chicken balls thingy?" Sorry, guys, I don't know what it's called. And I was like, "No, what the hell?" He's like, "You have to try it." I'm like, "Okay, I'll try anything, right?" And they give it on these sticks, okay, like these, kushiyaki. You have these
right.
sticks.
They're skewered.
Yes, they're like
Ouch.
the balls are basically still intact, kind of, and they're like wrapped around these sticks. It's crazy. And then they what's it? Yaiteru, man. What's that in English? Yaku.
What, baked?
Yeah, like cooked.
Grilled?
They
Grilled?
grilled. I think they grill it. I'm not sure. They grill it or something,
I'll look
and
this up.
then yeah. So then you eat it, right? And when you have it in your mouth, this is gonna kill every male person listening. I'm sorry, but it like pops open, and there's like a substance in there, and it tastes. I swear it tastes like egg. And that gave me a whole new perspective on life. It was honestly an experience. I'm still traumatized. I would never eat it again, even though it's delicious. It tasted like delicious, like soft egg. But I would never eat it again because it was so disgusting. The whole thing was disgusting. So what do you think about this
Interesting.
kind of food? Like where it's like the experience is kind of like, you know what I mean? It's not just the taste, right? It's also the way it's experienced. What do you think
I
about
think I
that?
should use you as a food consultant because you got much more adventurous taste than I do. I just
You have
never refuse anything,
no, I
but
love that.
nobody's ever offered me that.
So what about whale? Now this is gonna also
Oh, that's a tough one.
mm,
Fortunately, I don't know any yatais that offer whale. I guess it's just too controversial. But I've had it before, and like whale blubber and whale meat and stuff like that. The thing is, I understand intellectually that it is, it's depopulating. I mean, these fish. These mammals are in danger of extinction, so that's why I don't want to eat it. But as far as a flavor goes, the meat is kind of like beef. Um,
yes. So I'm
and I
so
know
sorry.
that historically,
Yeah.
well, they used to feed whole villages on one whale. It was a very great way to go, and they didn't
Yeah,
waste anything.
really.
I
Interesting.
mean, they ate the whole thing. They find a use for the bones and the whatever. This is one thing about the Japanese is that they don't just chuck stuff out. Old Japanese, they would use everything, and so
Yeah, just like
it
the
doesn't
hormone we
surprise me
talked
that
about.
somebody came up with, yeah. And so the thing is, hormone, like before I moved here, it really was thrown in the trash. They got rid of it. And then somebody realized, hey, if you stew the heck out of it and add miso or shoyu and make a soup and tons of cabbage, I think it was in the motsanabe. I think there's loads of, is it cabbage? There's something, I forget what it is. I haven't had motsanabe in a while because it's super high calorie.
Um,
And
about the hormone though, it's disgusting. I'm sorry. Like that one I always hated. Like I always hated hormone. It's disgusting. It's so chewy. Like what is that? It's kind
oh,
of
but
like
that doesn't
chewing,
bother me at all. Doesn't bother me. It's
but you
just
just
chew
swallow
forever.
the whole piece. Like what's fun about that?
There's no flavor. You're right, but it just reinforces that it's all about the sauce. It's all about the way it's prepared and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to go out of my way to get motsunabe, for example, which is a big
Yeah.
dish here.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. Like, if you think about it, remember how you're talking about you liked raw chicken? Chicken is all about the marinade, the flavors, and everything. Because chicken without seasoning, have you ever had that? It's like tofu. It's blank. It's nothing.
Yes, it is. And I see where you're coming from. Absolutely. Yeah. But
I mean, because somebody says they don't like tofu, it's because they haven't had it properly seasoned, prepared, or sauced or spiced.
yes, absolutely. I mean, like yesterday I had soba and it was, the soba, the mensuyu, the kind of
Mm,
sauce or whatever it's called,
mm, hmm
with
The
wasabi
dip,
and this specific wasabi flavor in it. It just makes everything better. I'm obsessed with wasabi. And
yeah,
karashi,
because
it's
soba is all
like,
about the wasabi. Yeah.
yeah, it's the best. But yeah, I have a question for you. Let's go back to the questions here.
How you
Um,
know so?
so you're an entrepreneur basically, right? As a foreigner. And so I had some entrepreneurs on the show already. And so I like to talk about failure because I think being an
Oh,
entrepreneur, right? Like
you came to the right guy.
tell me
My
about
God.
failure. When was the time you failed? What did you
Oh
learn?
my
Tell
God.
us, teach us.
I don't want to scare people, but I have one of the biggest failures in the history of the world. So back when the internet came out and smartphones were just developed, the leader in the field was BlackBerry back a long time ago when you were a baby. So we got to work creating a way to do file transfers from a BlackBerry so you could print pictures. Well, there weren't even cameras on the BlackBerry back then, but you could print documents at first, and then you could print pictures and then whatever from your BlackBerry directly. This was brand new. We were the first people to make a wireless printing solution for the BlackBerry, and I had customers all over the world. I mean, I had lawyers in South Africa and pilots in Qatar and Australia and this and that, and people loved my product. And then, as you know, BlackBerry, Google came into the field and says, oh, we're going to give away software. We're going to create this operating system, Android, and we're going to give it away so any manufacturer can make a smartphone. What? Software is free now. And then Apple comes out around the same time and says, we're going to make this iPhone. And we're like, oh, that's a toy, it's big. But then they added cut and paste, and all of a sudden it became a business tool. And so I went from being a multimillionaire on paper to owing my investors several $1 million in a matter of a couple of weeks. And so I think how can I say it? I am in a very good position to talk about failure because I really was on top of the world. I mean, I had such devoted fans to my product, and then everyone just got rid of their BlackBerries like overnight. And I had never lost more money so fast doing anything. So my feeling was that if it doesn't kill you, it seriously injures you. No, it makes you stronger. But that was one example of failure. And I'm not afraid of failure.
But how does that? Sorry, I have to interrupt there because it's like that's a very interesting story. I do remember the BlackBerries still, but then, I mean, how was it to become a millionaire? I guess on paper, and then live that high life, and then I mean, you told a little bit about it, but I mean, go a bit more into detail here. Like, what was the emotions? That must feel like a lot of loss, right? Like, I mean, not just financially, also emotionally, no?
Emotionally, it was traumatic, and I didn't want to put my family through hardship, so I was semi-chicken entrepreneuring. I mean, I did not drop all of my language business, so I still had money coming in from revenue streams in Japan. But I had an office in Silicon Valley, and like I said, customers all around the world, and I was coordinating, production in Taiwan and China and software development everywhere from Poland to Canada to Latin America, to develop new versions of my software. But having to drop that project, my particular failure was attributable to several things. There was a lot of corruption within the company because there's so much money in mobile. I mean, we're talking about millions and millions and millions of users, hundreds of millions of users, right? So if you sell a $1 item to hundreds of millions of people, I mean, it's good. I was selling an $80 item, and people were buying, they'd lose it and they buy another one. So, I mean, it was a really, really high potential business. And I learned that money can't buy happiness.
Tell me about that. Tell me.
It's just that, I mean, I think the people who say it best understand that you can only eat 3 meals a day. You can only wear one pair of shoes at a time. And so I learned really to appreciate what I do have. And the Uniqlo thing, it's not because it's the cheapest clothes in the world, although it really is. That's a whole nother story. I just like functional, good things that work well. And I'm no longer, like, for example, I got rid of my car. That's a funny story. After my business failed, I was offered a chance to test drive a Ferrari, California. And I was supposed to do it as a secret shopper. So I went there and I drove this Ferrari for an hour. And it was a hand-built, incredible car. It was a $500,000 car. And I got back into my BMW afterwards. And I'm like, this is garbage. Seriously, this BMW is crap. And I sold it. And for years after that, I didn't even have a car. And then when I finally went to I needed some wheels, I bought a Keiji Dosha. And I'm now very happy with a Keiji Dosha. I don't want a Lexus or a Ferrari or a Porsche or any of that expensive fufu now. Quite happy with a K. And that was really, I had to go through the ringer. I'd lived here like 35 years before I'd even driven a K, this small 660cc engine car only holds 4 people. But the point is, I am supremely happy with it. And I don't need big motorcycles anymore. I don't know. I think my father said it best. Happiness is wanting what you get, not getting what you want.
Goodness, there's so much to unpack there. I'm just thinking, this, what's the actor called in Hollywood who does The Mask? Who did The Mask? Or, very famous dude. He said, the guy who did the, Sunshine.
I mean, I should know, but
you know him for sure. Sorry, I'm just blanking out on the name. But he said, I wish everyone could be rich and famous so they understood that it means nothing.
Yeah. Well, that was the other thing. I wasn't happy when I was like gazillionaire on paper or whatever. And I wasn't even happy flying around the world and stuff because I was exhausted. What made me happy was that people liked my product. And I felt a sense of pride that they liked that because we took this from concept and we designed it and we named it and we did industrial design. I mean, it was so much fun. It was a really cool product and all these magazines reviewed it and they loved it. And that was the satisfaction. And I get that same satisfaction now by just taking people to these yates. People love what I feed them. They love the atmosphere, the party that we throw for them every time.
Yeah. And I mean, you are the life of the party. I mean, just from the way, you're made for this, right? It's like, I can tell you're in the right profession. It's kind of, do you think that's your purpose in life, or what do you think is your purpose in life?
Well, I had said this on the Open Mind website years before I even knew that I was going to be a foodie guide. And it was Bruce connects people. Way before Nokia had it, I was connecting people. And I think that is my purpose in life and my gift. And if you can do it through food or you can do it through clothing or products or whatever, it really doesn't matter. But I like doing it through food because people slow down and sit still when you eat together. And, I learned this in Japan is business meetings are always over food and drink. Maybe people are going out on the golf course, but you know that when you go golfing in Japan, it's all about the food. There's a huge part. The golf, they always have these incredible chefs and these incredible meals when people go to play golf. So it really does come down to it that food is love, food is connection, and food is happiness. And, the terminology about comfort food, right? So I'm serving people stuff that they've never even heard of before, and yet it's providing comfort and familiarity to them.
Amazing. And
yeah, and I get such a kick out of it. Like if I get a 5-star review, I'm just over the top. But I've only had one guest who didn't like my tour. I want to tell you about that.
Tell me.
So as you were explaining, you have to know what a yatai is. Like if you come on a food tour and you don't know that a yatai is a food stall, it's the simplest thing that it's hauled in and it takes 90 minutes to set up and you're sitting on these cheap old wooden benches that might be 50 years old and you're cheek to jowl with all the other people. I mean, you have to know that that's the experience. And the fact that you share food, right? You pass dishes around and everybody has a little bit of this and that. It's not a teishoku. It's not a set menu of everybody gets their own salad, this, that, and that. It's here comes a dish. We're all going to have a taste of it, pass it around. So I had one guest whose travel agent had booked her on my tour without telling her at all. And she didn't bother to read. She had no idea. And she complained to the travel agent that we had to share food. And part of the attraction of the tour that he booked her on was watching this stall set up. And we're like, we had to wait. I'm like, well, that's because this is the only place in the world where you can see yatais setting up for the night. I mean, this is a feature of this particular tour because I do early tours and later tours. The late tours, they're already set up. You don't get to see anything. So there was learning about the importance of aligning expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But anyway,
yeah, but it's kind of like I had my first hate comment the other day, and I feel like it's kind of like that. It's kind of like it's
you got to
kind
get
of
hate
like
comments then. Yeah.
I think
What?
you know how it made me feel, and this is how it should make you feel. This whole experience, I think. I mean, this is what I feel because I was like, yeah, of course it's not for everyone because I have an opinion and I'm saying something or I'm having
Don't
a
tune
guest
into my
that's
cast if you don't want to hear my opinion. Exactly.
yeah, and it's the cool thing about it was about my reaction to that was that I was thinking, um, that's a good sign. I mean, I think if you only have hate comments, that's a bad sign. But I think if you
That
have
would
a
be bad.
few,
Yeah.
yeah, but if
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
a few, it shows that you have an opinion, you have something to say. Not everybody's going to agree with you. That's life, man. And so
That
that's
is
kind
true.
of that's the cool thing about your thing too. It's a yatai experience, man. Like I mean, people who want like a beach holiday with like a cocktail and like I don't know, a hot dog or whatever, right? Like fry. I can't speak English anymore, dude. My brain is like Japanese and it's malfunctioning. Potato fried. What is it? What is it?
French fries.
Yeah, French fries. Like that person will not like that yatai experience maybe, right? Because Japan is full of deep culture. It's sometimes uncomfortable, but that's part of the experience.
Yeah.
It's like the kimono, right? Like when you wear a kimono, it's like it used to be like 20 kilo. It's still sometimes it can be 20 kilos, right? Like to wear it. It's
Wow.
heavy fabric. It's like it's uncomfortable. That's the experience, dude. We're doing this. This is a thing, right? It's like everything. Yeah, it's not
Yeah. And
for it's
walking
not
in the
for
wooden
everyone.
shoes, that's not for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's a good thing. It shows that you there was an experience there, right? And um yeah. But so okay. So I have a rapid fire question for almost all of my guests. Sometimes I'm still
Okay.
figuring this podcasting out, but I have a rapid fire question. So I'm going to ask you a few questions and I want you to answer with one or two words. So, like quickly without thinking too much. Best meal you ever had anywhere in the world?
It was actually in the mountains here in Ukiha. My wife and I were invited to be guests at this 100-year-old house on top. It was way above the rice fields in this village. And we were not told who was going to be cooking or what was happening, but they had flown in a celebrity chef from Kobe who owned a restaurant in Kobe and in Taipei. And this guy created food that was, I mean, there's nothing even comes close to this. The colors, the textures. He created a thing that looked like a lemon meringue pie, but it was seafood. It was crazy and wild. I mean, it's such artistry, and the flavors were incredible too. But I'd never seen anything like this before, and I have photographic evidence. And the thing is, what made it so fantastic is that my wife and I could experience it together, so she could see the incredible enjoyment and excitement of the food thing, because this is my career, right? Feeding people. And I've been doing this since I guess around 2018. So I opened it and I had to shut it down, of course, for COVID. So I didn't do much of anything.
Yeah.
But, this is kind of my focus, and I get new tours in and I'm so excited. And I'm telling that to my wife. It's like, this is Bruce's world, is the excitement, the joy of feeding famous people, not so famous people, people who've traveled a lot, people who have never been anywhere. And I get to feed them and hang out with them for a little bit and hopefully change their life, a little bit for the better, make them, love
that.
Fukuoka, love the yatai experience. So, yeah, that meal stands out because it was just good in all around, all around. And we were the only two people there, by the way. It was totally prepared for us.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's
And
an
this chef,
experience.
if I were to go see him in Kobe, for example, at one of his restaurants, it would have been hundreds of dollars per person.
Yeah, that's so cool.
And
Okay.
months to get a reservation, right? That kind of
Oh my
thing.
God. this is like, I know it's a rapid fire question, but I have to connect to this with my own story, because I was in a restaurant once in Fukuoka where I had this dish for the first time, which I still forgot. I forgot what it's called. I learned to cook it later because I loved it so much. This is still when I was eating meat. So we went to this restaurant with my two friends, Japanese friends. We're sitting there. They order something. I just let them order because I was eating everything at the time. And so it was this like dish that was like in this like wooden pot, I want to say. And it was very thinly sliced pork, and then the Chinese cabbage, and then pork and Chinese cabbage and pork. And then they kind of cut it and put it like in like the circle into this wooden pot, and they cook it in mirin, in cooking alcohol and soy sauce and rice vinegar and all that stuff that is in Japanese food. And they let it simmer for a long time, and then you eat it. So at the time I didn't know what it was. I just knew it was kind of meat and vegetable or whatever. I when I started eating that, I started crying. Like, I'm sorry. Like, what?
You are a foodie. You really should be doing the food tours.
I started crying. I mean,
this is just so beautiful, right?
and honestly, it was just so beautiful. Like the taste of that dish, the way it made me feel home. It was like a warm hug or something. I don't know what happened there, but my two Japanese friends were like, okay, emotional. Like, what's going on?
Yeah. Can you get that same kind of overwhelming with emotion from music or from art?
All the time, crying. I mean, goosebumps. I mean, I have that with conversations. I'm a very, very emotionally tapped in person. I can that's me.
Wow. Well, we would probably drive each other crazy if we were together full time, but I think we should go someplace and try and cry our eyes out sometime over some fantastic, excruciatingly beautiful food or something sometime. It would be fun. It would be good because I've never been with anyone who could reach the emotional depth over food like that.
Have you cried over food before? High five.
I haven't really cried over, let me see. I actually cried probably one time over barbecued pork, Chinese, the pork with the 5 spice powder. Because that's something to me, it's a religious experience. Because again, when I was 6 years old, it changed my life. Is like, it wasn't salt and pepper. It was complexity, sufficient. Yeah. It was love.
Artistry.
But crying over food, though.
I mean, you don't have
to. I guess because.
Yeah. Tell me.
No.
Sorry.
The interesting thing is I have what I call food orgasms, right? I mean, I will eat something and it's just, whoa. And there's a lot of that in, like some of the meals I get, and even at some of the yattais, I will take people like this mochi bacon thing. I feel sorry for all my halal and kosher buddies because they can't have it. But it is heavenly. And there's a certain ramen also that can do that to us. We actually go to this place where they mix the tonkotsu with little flying fish broth, a little agodashi, and the chashu that comes with it is so just soft and just melts. It's just.
I think. Yeah. Sorry. Tell me.
Well, just I get into that feeling of, oh my God, I'm home. Kind of, this is incredible.
Yeah.
And especially coming from, because my family was a Jewish background. So having those feelings over pork is deeply, what is the word?
Yes. Everything is sin.
Yes. It's so simple.
It's weird. I was actually not Googling, I was chat GPTing umami, because I was like, what actually is that? And is that real? And it is real, apparently. It is real. Sorry, I'm late to the game, but I'd never understood what umami really meant. And so obviously I've experienced umami many, many, many times. It's just I never knew how to put it. I guess ChatGPT really, I was like, asking it many, many times. Explain me more. What does that mean? What's the difference here? I still didn't really get where the difference is. How can you, I didn't know that was a food category, but Japanese food has a lot of umami. And like that dish that I just talked about where I cried, it's like the umami of the broth, right? It's like,
the fact that you can admit that you cried over a food, that's pretty cool.
Of course, I admit that, dude. There's
you
weirder
are in
things.
touch with your feelings. It's wonderful. You are proud of who you are.
Yes, I am.
I mean, if I cried over food, I would tell you, but I just don't think I've had that reaction.
But the tears.
Deeply experience. The tears coming up. I guess that's crying, isn't it? This is so good that I've cried. Wait a minute. There are some dishes that are so good that I will have a tear. Yeah.
What is it?
And well, the thing is, it doesn't even, there's no genre.
Yeah.
Like, it's just that when something is done to perfection, I can appreciate that.
It's art.
It's art. And there's so much love that goes into the craft. This is what I like, is when the chef is thinking so much about the experience, the user experience, the dining experience of the guest, that they create this incredible thing. That is moving to me, because, the opposite, the United States is moving towards that institutional freeze-dried, frozen, foo-foo garbage. I can't remember the last time I had a really deeply moving culinary experience in North America. I don't know, because I don't want to spend thousands of dollars to have it. But in Japan, you can get this kind of thing even at a simple venue. There are certain places you go to, it's out of this world. Like the okonomiyaki that I had last night was a religious experience.
People don't understand.
This woman has been making it 33 years. She's been making okonomiyaki, and it was out of this world.
Just you have to show me that place. When I'm in Fukuoka, we have to meet, and you have to show me that place because and like this is a thing that I really believe in. I think the way that food turns out has a lot to do with the person who prepares it and the energy they are in when they prepare the food. So when you talked about that, like customer experience, so it's so important, and it's just, it changes the whole thing. And this dish that I had that I still don't know the name of, I learned to cook it afterwards because I was like, I need this in my life, right? Because I cried. So I learned to cook it, and it was actually quite good. Obviously it wasn't as good as the professional, but it was delicious. So I made this whole pot, right? And I sat down, and I'm a skinny girl. I'm naturally skinny. I can't actually eat that much. And even if I eat much, I don't really gain weight, So I made this whole pot. Yeah, I made this pot and then rice, right? And I was like, I'm going to eat like a little bit, and then I can have the rest tomorrow and the day after. Like I was thinking 3 days, 2 days, this will be for me. I ate everything in one sitting. What the hell?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what that was.
Man, there are several dishes that I would form like food fetishes about. But what I pride myself on is having these religious experiences about food, these oh my God kind of things, over not the fancy stuff, because the one up in the mountains with that celebrity chef and this and that, I mean, that one, I will never be able to recreate that. That was insane, because that was done with like grant money up the yin yang. I mean, just transporting the chef himself and getting him to prepare all that stuff, that must have cost a fortune to bring this guy out of Kobe and have that kitchen ready for him and all of his ingredients. I mean, it was it was probably a $10,000 meal or something insane like that, just to get that to be possible. Because again, this guy's kitchen was in Kobe or in Taipei. It's not in the mountains of Ukiha. It was just like nowhere.
Crazy.
But what I was going to tell you was, I love it, like the okonomiyaki. Or there's this restaurant I've been going to for 40 years in Fukuoka. And one of my first guests I didn't shut down my tour business during COVID right away. I kept it open just to see if somebody had the guts to order a tour. And so the first guest that I had one year was the head of the Pacific Fleet, the commander-in-chief of the Navy for the United States. I mean, this was the top dog, Harvard, Oxford educated, brilliant, just level-headed Superman who had rented a car and was taking his family around. And I took him to my favorite comfort food restaurant, because it was before I was doing yatai tours. And I just took him to my favorite comfort dinner that I've been going to for, by that time, like 35 years, right? And it's just this chicken that's cooked in a sauce that is made with butter and soy sauce. It's called teriyaki. toriyaki teishoku. Very simple food. About $8 for the meal.
Yes.
But it was so good, and he loved it. And he and his whole family came with me, and his son, who was like 9 years old, one of these geniuses, he said, going out to dinner with Bruce was probably the best thing we did in Kyushu.
Of course. Yes, I love that. I love that. And I think I didn't tell you either, right? But my favorite food, when people ask me what's your favorite food in Japan, what's your favorite Japanese food, I always say teishoku. And what I mean by that is a grilled fish, some amazing like tsukemono, some rice, some miso soup, okay, a little bit of some vegetable. I'm just happy, man. Like that's the most delicious thing. And every time I have a teishoku, I have this orgasmic experience that I every time, and it's what is it, like $6, $7, $8, as you said, like it's wonderful. If you really love food, guys, and you've never been to Japan, please do yourself a favor. Like, what are you doing? Go to Bruce. And yeah, I will have all of your stuff in the video description.
What you describe is you are the ultimate person to dine with. So we're after the show is taped and stuff, we will make an appointment. I'm coming to Tokyo on my way out someplace when we're going to dinner.
You have to. And I'm sometimes in Fukuoka, so when I'm there, we have to meet as on.
Yeah, you can't come here and dine together.
I need to go to that okonomiyaki place. Oh, I love it. Also monjayaki. That's a different thing. Okay, guys.
But there's so many other restaurants. Anyway, it's a good one.
Yes, I'm excited. We have to do it. But yeah, thank you so much, Bruce. It's already been an hour. I'm trying to not keep it keep it short.
Nothing.
But thank you so much. I'm so honored that you've been here. You are a connector. You are such a storyteller. I love it. Like you find us everything that it was an easy and wonderful interview with you. And so I hope we see each other soon. And yeah, thank you so much.
Believe me, you're unforgettable. So I'm looking forward to dining with you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for listening to the episode. If there was anything in this episode that you liked, please share, like, and subscribe. It means a lot to me. I'm still a small channel. And look up Bruce and what he's doing. Everything about him will be in the video description below. And thank you guys so much, and see you in the next episode. Bye.